Yeah, if you've watched Michigan State football the last few years, you know how important a good special teams coach can be in East Lansing. And my God, did they go get themselves one?
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this football season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, how on earth are we all doing as we are getting closer and closer to Christmas? But hey, before that, how about this nice weekend? That will, of course, feature a Michigan State basketball game. We're going to get to that later on in the show as our Spartans take on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. But first things first, we're going to talk football, guys. But before all that, let's do some housework here. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below your thoughts on the LeVar Woods hiring for special teams coordinator / co-head coach, or assistant head coach, I should say. That's the more formal title there. Because, look, it's not always, a position coach or a coordinator job that has a lot of sex appeal around it, right? Like, special teams coordinator. What a complete afterthought that is to the common fan, but we're not common fans. We are both Big Ten fans, and also we're bruised and battered because we've seen some awful special teams here in the last few years. And when you get LeVar Woods, you drag him away from Iowa. Boy, well, golly gee, Pat Fitzgerald, what a hire that is. Because this is a massive get for two reasons. And I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say this. I mean, not to get way too excited about a special teams coordinator, but guys, especially as a Michigan State fan, there's two reasons to get fired up about this one. The first is just look at where you're getting him from, Iowa. I mean, just look how strong Iowa's special teams have been. You think of Iowa special teams, you think of efficient, you think of discipline, and you think of game-changing. God, just look at the second to last game for Michigan State. I would say special teams were quite game-changing in that affair. Wouldn't you say? And then the second reason that, no, it's not just because Iowa's special teams have been so good for so long under LeVar Woods. The second reason is, well, my God, just think about how weak Michigan State has been in the special teams department. And this is despite having all-American punters here in the last 2 years, or the last few years, with Bryce Behringer. And, of course, well, the guy right here, Ryan Eckley, who's going to go to the NFL. And then also an NFL-grade kicker in Mr. Kim here, Jonathan Kim, of course. Yet still, special teams has been awful. Like, when I think of three words for special teams, I think of sloppy, I think of undisciplined, and I think of, ironically enough, game-changing. And not in a good way. Like, it's not just the Iowa game where you saw it change the whole game. The Nebraska game last year, too, got flipped on its head because of a special teams gaffe. But look, guys, it's not just massive, but it's equal parts, in my opinion, shocking to get LeVar Woods from Iowa. And again, not to, just over-exaggerate how important this is or how just groundbreaking something like this is, but listen to this guy's resume here. He's been the special teams coordinator for quite some time here since 2017, so 8 seasons. But even before that, he played at Iowa. He even said in today's press conference he met his wife at Iowa. And then after his 7-year NFL career wrapped up, well, he joined the program back in 2008 as an analyst and then worked his way up to, of course, special teams coordinator. So, that's nearly 2 decades just coaching with the program after playing at the program. And he even had a quote right here today saying, quote, "The University of Iowa gave me more than football. It gave me my life." To pull a guy this good of a coach and with this many roots just embedded into Iowa football, that's a big and surprising get for Michigan State. Like, this would be if Max Bola, for example, he coaches, he's co-defensive coordinator, he works his way up to full-time defensive coordinator, and in 15 years when Pat Fitzgerald would be, what would that make him, like 70-ish? Like, he decides to, get on the doorstep of walking away. Maybe like Kirk Ferentz is on the doorstep of maybe walking away. But, could Max Bola be the guy to take over finally? There are some people in Iowa circles that thought that of LeVar Woods. And then, well, just if Max Bola got up and left in 15 years to some other Big Ten program, I'm not saying it's going to shake the whole college football world, but it definitely shook Iowa fans. They're not too happy about it. I mean, it's definitely got us Michigan State fans fired up, and people that just, watch over the Big Ten as a whole, they're a little surprised by it too. So not only are Hawkeye fans not really thrilled with this, but I reached out to our guy, Trent Condon, over at Locked On Hawkeyes, and I said, just give me your quick thoughts on this man. And he said he's a great person, great coach. He also said he's selfishly pissed off as a fan, and then says, hey, he hope he does great at Michigan State and comes back to take over at Iowa when Kirk Ferentz does retire. So a lot of people think very highly of him, guys. High character. I mean, obviously, he always has his teams playing very disciplined on special teams. And let's get into a few stats here that really paint a clear picture of how good Iowa has been. But before that, just to reiterate how bad it's been here at Michigan State in regards to special teams. Look, if you're one of those folks out there that really like Pro Football Focus, that really takes their grading, kind of like you do your Bible scripture, you know what? You're going to like this then. Or maybe you're going to hate it. I don't know. But look, Michigan State, their special teams collectively has graded in the bottom 3 in the Big Ten Conference in 4 of the last 5 years. And they've actually been dead last 2 times in that 5-year span. One was this year, the one that we just all enjoyed. They had the bottom graded special teams unit in the whole Big Ten. And then the other time was 2021. So, let's look at that same window, though, the last 5 years, because let's get to the Iowa special teams. What can we maybe expect here from LeVar Woods and his units here? Pro Football Focus. Okay, this isn't just the conference. This is the whole nation right here. In the last 5 years, this is where Iowa has ranked as a special teams unit. Last year, they were 5th best graded in all of college football. 2024, 11th highest graded. 2023, 5th highest graded. 2022, they slid all the way back to 24th highest graded. And then 2021, the 11th highest graded. So that is a long way of saying in the last 5 years, they've never fallen outside the top 25, according to Pro Football Focus. Look, guys, I got some more stats, too, that aren't just arbitrary grades or just a guy watching on, his iPhone grading up a bunch of people, if that's what you think Pro Football Focus does. No, here's some actual hard numeric stats. And this is going to be in the same 5-year window. I went with a lot of post-COVID, it's just a good 5-year window to get a lot of these stats here. Did you know that there's one program in the Big Ten that has been top 5 in the conference in each of the last 5 seasons in average kickoff return yards? So just one program has been in the top 5 in that metric, average kickoff return yards last 5 years. It's Iowa. You could probably already figure that out. Now, on the contrary, kickoff defense, there's one program that has also been in the top 5 in the Big Ten of the last 5 seasons in average opponent kickoff yards. Guys, you've already guessed it. It's Iowa. They have been consistent, returning, and, holding other teams from returning, consistent as ever in the last 5 seasons. Also, hey, you like explosive plays too? Yeah, well, how about this for kickoffs? In the last 5 years, they've never been outside of the top 5 in 30-plus yard kickoff returns. They've been 2nd in the Big Ten, 3rd in the Big Ten, 5th in the Big Ten, 2nd in the Big Ten, and 3rd in the Big Ten at explosive kickoff returns. Same with punt returns. Last 5 years, they have never been outside of the top 5 in 20-plus yard punt returns. 4th place, 2nd place, 1st place, 2nd place, 1st place. And of course, it helps when you have all-American talent, just like LeVar Woods has coached. It helps when you have a Cooper DeJean a few years ago. It helps when you have a great punter in Torrey Taylor. And, we saw this firsthand as Michigan State fans, if you are still even watching at this point of the season. But Caden Weegan, he's okay too. So, of course, it is aided by that. But outside of just those explosive returners, even when the returner isn't even on the field, the special teams defense, they play tight, they play discipline, they play the kind of special teams that you need to play if you want to help your team win games, which has been the opposite here in East Lansing the last few years. So what a great get for Pat Fitzgerald. And there's that for Sparta fund just at work right there. It's not just about the buildings. Sure, some dollars pulled him away from Iowa too. And also the assistant head coach title. Hey, that's the lifting title. We'll take that over here. Guys, we're going to get to more staffing news, and then we're going to get to this basketball game here against Oakland here in a hot segment. First, you need to talk your ears off about Wayfair because, oh my, Are these holidays coming up even faster than we all expected? And if you're still putting together gifts, last-minute decor, or getting your home ready for guests, whatever it is, Wayfair has you covered. Whether you need a quick room refresh, new bedding, those final seasonal touches, whatever it is, Wayfair makes it easy to get what you need and fast. Now, Wayfair is truly your one-stop shop for everything home, guys. Decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, gifts, every style, every budget, you name it, it's all delivered not just quickly, but also easily. You never have to sweat it out with Wayfair, guys. Their selection is huge. From bedding, decor, kitchen gear, kids' room updates. Go ahead and throw that on the Christmas list, too. I was able to find everything in one place. So, guys, get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts, whatever it is, all to your door, fast, easy with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Also, guys, stay in tune with all the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports betting app, because NFL Sundays, yeah, they move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. Well, that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you are reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Like, let's say, for example, a receiver gets hot. You want to ride the hot hand? Go ahead. FanDuel, to have the live props, the live game lines. A defense starts to tighten up, kind of like my Lions did last week against the Rams. Guys, go ahead, jump on that live. Or let's head to the Aki here. Let's talk darts here for a hot second, because tomorrow afternoon, Nathan Aspinall going against Lawrence Illigan. I don't really care about him. I know that the Asp, he shows up on the main stage in the World Championships. Nathan Aspinall to win his match 3-0 plus 110 tomorrow at FanDuel. All right, guys, whether it's darts, whether it's NFL, be in the middle of all the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. It's FanDuel. The game moves fast, and so can you. All right, let's talk other staffing news here, or other pieces of staffing news, I should say. I should speak the English language at least somewhat properly here. It's a late night, guys. Bear with me here. Joe Rossi, the defensive coordinator, he was formally announced by Michigan State as coming back on social media. This is a lot of news that we already have known, but hey, you know what? When the social team tweets it out, it just becomes a little bit more official, just like Max Bola announced as the linebackers coach and co-defensive coordinator, and James Adams, a holdover from the previous staff, he will be staying on as safeties coach. So this is going away from the assistant coaches, but there was some news that broke right before we started recording, and this is courtesy of Justin Sin, Matt Zenitz, Alan True, the whole 24/7 Sports family right here broke this one, that Brian Gasser, previously at Toledo, he will be the general manager here in East Lansing. So he's not following Jason Candle, who took the job at UConn. Sorry, I got my wrong U University over there. But regardless, he had the opportunity, according to 24/7 Sports, to follow Jason Candle. He wanted to stick in the true Midwest region and also take this flashy Power 4 job that was being dangled in front of him. That never hurts, right? Now, he hasn't just been this front office guy, right? He has been a position coach. He's been a wide receiver and a tight ends coach at Iowa State under Matt Campbell. So between identifying talent very well at a group of 5 level, he's also worked personally with wide receivers, tight ends. So a little bit of a, I don't want to say gamble or a risk. I do think it's interesting that they're plucking a guy from a group of 5 level. But if you want the positive spin zone, it is a guy that is regional. It is a guy that's worked under some really solid staffs, I would say. And, when it came to G5 talent evaluation, Toledo year in, year out has had the best roster, or if not the best, in like a top 3 roster in the MAC for quite some time. So clearly they do a good job at evaluating talent. Can they do it at the next level? I mean, look, I think it's a good hire on paper, but truly a wait-and-see sort of position here that Brian Gasser is taking. Now, this is another wait-and-see hire. They're all wait-and-see hires. Who are we kidding, right, guys? But Joel Welsh has been announced as the strength and conditioning coach. He did spend some time at Iowa, most recently at Central Michigan, and a lot of praise from former players. There's a lot of good buzz around him, not just for what he does in the weight room, but just as a person, as a human, as a leader of men. So Joel Welsh, please, I don't know what it is with Michigan State. Obviously, us fans have all seen it the last few years. I don't know if it's the playing surface. I don't know if Spartan Stadium is built on top of a Native American burial ground. I got no idea what it is, but the injuries have got to slow down somehow. I'm sure some of that has to do with strength and conditioning at a bare minimum, but please just do whatever you got to do. I thought it was interesting today that, in the midst of all the announcements of who they're bringing on or keeping from the last staff, no Courtney Hawkins announcement. And we spoke about this very briefly yesterday, that Dakota Garant, who is a 4-star wide receiver, local kid, he's from Detroit, he did a story with 24/7 Sports and said that, hey, it's cool that Courtney Hawkins is staying on the staff. I will visit them during junior day in the very near future. So I thought the kids spilt the beans, but no announcement yet for Michigan State. So I'm sure it's a thing of they're just crossing T's and dotting I's, but seems like Courtney Hawkins will be on the staff, just no formal announcement yet. And I did also find it interesting that there's no guys being retained that have Oregon State roots here. Joe Rossi, obviously, you got him from Minnesota. James Adams came from Wake Forest, I believe. Courtney Hawkins, he was with Michigan State. Max Bulla, obviously Notre Dame. And these are all guys that, were either with the staff or, away from them. No Oregon State guys have been retained, at least as of yet. Brian Wozniak, the tight end coach, he was thought to be maybe a guy that's going to be held over, and maybe there still are conversations there. But Legi Suinoa will not be here. Coach Jim Holchek, offensive line coach, I doubt that he'll be around here. Blue Adams, he certainly will not be around. He took a job at Florida State, just like your running backs coach, Keith Banafa. He signed with Cal. And then Brian Lindgren, the offensive coordinator, I got a hard time believing that he's going to stick around too. But, man, basically, if you have ever had a mailing address in Corvallis, Oregon, we got no need for you here. Dust might settle. Brian Wozniak might be a guy that keep around, but yeah, I mean, no thanks, Beaver guys. Good luck at your next stops. We're kind of done with the whole Oregon State and try to make it work at Michigan State chapter is what they are saying so far. Subject to change, but that's what we got here, guys. Let's talk about this Oakland game. Coming up Saturday, noon. Cannot wait for it. I will be there, of course. Little Caesars Arena, about a 20-minute drive from my house. I would not miss this one, but let's cut to the chase here. BartTorvik.com suspects a Michigan State 88-69 victory. Now let's learn a little bit about Oakland and those Golden Grizzlies there. They are 6-6 on the year, and they started with, I didn't even look this up. I'm just going to blindly assume this is the hardest way to start just a season, in your first 3 games being against Michigan, Houston, and Purdue. 3 teams that currently sit in the top 10 of the AP poll. So even with that grueling of a start, they are still 6-6. Now, they have taken losses to UCF as well, Eastern Michigan, Northern Iowa, but they do have wins over Defiance, Lamar, Montana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, Toledo, and Northern Kentucky. So still looking for a win against a Quad 2 team or a Quad 1 team, which would obviously be against Michigan State here on a neutral court. But look, guys, here is what they do well. This is what I like to do when we face a mid-major, or really any opponent, but especially a mid-major that otherwise you might just look past. As if we're playing on the court and, we personally can't look past the opponent. Anyway, I just want the whole fan base aligned here. Oakland University does do a few things well. And most of those things are on the offensive side of the ball because, their adjusted offensive efficiency is top 75 in the country. It's actually 17th amongst all mid-major programs. So they've scored 70-plus points in 10 of their last 12 games, or 10 of their 12 games total on the season, I should say. And then 80-plus points in 8 of their last 9 games. So once they got out of that gauntlet against Michigan, Purdue, Houston, they've really cranked it up on offense, 80-plus in 8 of the last 9 games. Now, how on earth are they scoring? How are they doing this? They don't really take a lot of threes. They're only an okay shooting team from three-point. But my goodness gracious, it's a high tempo they play over there. Greg Campy's got these boys running over here. They are 25th in the nation in adjusted tempo and also 34th in the country in turnover percentage. So they are taking care of the ball here. They got 5 guys that are averaging double figures. And then here are 3 guys that are averaging at least 15 points per game. I just got a sentence or 2 about each guy written down. And it starts with 5'11" point guard Brody Robinson, who transferred here from the University of Texas, Arlington. And he's a 37% three-point shooter. I mean, he's the best one on the team at it. But this is what I really wanted to pull out here. He is 5th in the whole country at free throw attempts. Guys, this cat has already attempted 96 free throws. You thought Jeremy Fears gets to the line a lot. Jeremy Fears has only been to the line 54 times. This guy has nearly doubled what Jeremy Fears is able to do. He has shot 96 free throw attempts. So I'm already very pre-annoyed at watching Brody Robinson in person on Saturday. But anyway, here are the two other guys at Oakland that average more than 15 points. Isaac Garrett, who transferred from Snow College over in Utah. He's 6'6", pretty good finisher at the rim with a decent mid-range game. And then Michael Hoge, or Michael Hoge, or Hoge. Hoge. Anyway, 6'7". He's a bigger wing from Jacksonville State and solid rebounder and really good inside the arc too. So, guys, yeah, they got scoring ability over here. Now, there are some things that will hamper them, and we're going to get to a few mailbag questions about basketball here in a little bit. But first, guys, need to talk your ears off about Rocket Money because, ever just check your bank account or your statements and, why is money disappearing every month, seemingly? I get it. It happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy here, especially during the holiday season. And suddenly, well, the numbers in your bank account aren't matching the numbers in your head, at all sometimes. Rocket Money helps you get clarity. They track every dollar, and they stay in control of your finances because, well, guys, managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. Rocket Money just does that for you. They do the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. Rocket Money, they help find subscriptions that you forgot about that you were paying for, and it helps you clean them up quickly, guys. Having the app that finds good times to save each month, it helps you stay consistent with your spending and financial goals. So take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right, hopefully I did a good job scaring you all straight about Oakland University. Yes, 6-6 on the season, but you've seen the teams that they've played, and, well, you just heard about their offense. They're high-flying. They can score. Now, it will be interesting against, probably the best defense they've played so far this season on Saturday, but you get the point. This is a competent offense. Now, what will hamper Oakland? What don't they do so well? Not to just stare at a roster and make all of our judgments based on that, but this is not a long team. Their tallest guy that really plays is 6'8". They do have one guy that's 6'11", but he averages about 4 or 5 minutes a game, so don't expect a lot of him. But the reason I talk about the height here, how unlong they are, or I guess how short they are, I'll just be blunt about it. They do have a very low block percentage, amongst the worst in the country, actually, and they get blocked a lot. They get blocked on 12% of their shots, actually, which is 332nd in the country. So, look, I'm not just staring at the roster. We're also matching it with stats that make a lot of sense here, and the defense, too. Hey, we talked about the offense, right, being 75th or at least in the top 75 in adjusted offensive efficiency. Well, this adjusted defensive efficiency, it is 314th in the nation. So quite a gap between how good they are on offense and how much they struggle on defense here. Teams are shooting. And again, this kind of goes back to their height, guys. Teams are shooting 59.4% against them on twos. That is 23rd worst in the nation. Their three-point defense isn't great either. They're allowing 35.8% shooting, and they have given up 75-plus points in 10 games. So, look, I know that finishing around the rim has still been an issue with Michigan State here. Yes, it was an issue against Duke, but they're long. They have an incredible two-point field goal percentage defense. You understood why maybe it was a little difficult against Duke. Still was kind of tricky against Penn State. You're starting to lose a little bit of patience there. And then, well, the very next game that we just saw against Toledo, that's a team that you should have absolutely bludgeoned around the rim and finishing. And they did a fine enough job, but could have been a lot better. So, look, if you can't get right against Oakland, maybe this does become an issue that, oh, my God, our layups aren't actually falling here. What on earth is going on? But yeah, look, do I expect Michigan State to win this game? I do. Can Oakland make it interesting? They certainly can. They did last year when it was, a 1-point game at halftime. So, look, I expect a track meet here. I expect a high-scoring game. I don't know the over-under yet, but Yeah, hey, I'm excited to check this one out, guys, at Little Caesars Arena. Now, we're going to get to a mailbag question here, and this was a long one from Ethan. LockedOnSpartans@gmail.com if you ever want to reach out just like Ethan did. And he offered up a bunch of comments on a few different players, but I just wanted to pull out and spotlight some players, for better or for worse, that we haven't really talked about as long as that I would have liked to. Like, we've talked about Cohen Carr recently, Jackson Kohler certainly, Carson Cooper is probably the most talked about guy so far this season. But, Ethan, we're not going to get to every player you wrote about, but I do want to talk about what you had to say about Trey Fort. Now, let's talk about Trey Fort here, because had the Walton twins passed him in playing time? Anyway, Ethan wrote about Trey Fort. He's been disappointing thus far, but I still have hope for him even if Izzo doesn't. Hopefully he has a Frankie Fiddler type season where he comes in and plays early, struggles, almost loses the spot in the rotation, and then has the key moments down the stretch in February and March to help the team. I thought it was very interesting in the post-game press conference after the Toledo game where Izzo talked about rotations and guys at the 2. He only mentioned Devine, Tang, and Scott. He didn't even mention Fort. Not sure if he's trying to get under his skin and light a fire in Fort or if he's genuinely not considered anymore. Tom Izzo does so many great things, guys, right? Like, that's why he's a Hall of Fame coach. That's why he's been to 8 Final Fours. He's won a ton of Big Ten titles. You get the point. Amongst those things that he does great is push buttons properly on guys. He knows what does and doesn't motivate his team and his guys individually. I don't think it's crazy maybe to think that he is trying to light a fire under him. But is it also crazy to think like, okay, well, this is also like a hired mercenary. He's on his 9th school in the last 8 years, basically. Not to say that, he's got no relationship with him, so he's just throwing him in the used toy bin, but boy, I don't think Izzo has enjoyed what he's seen so far from Trey Fort. I think it's more likely that he's just out of a rotation spot before the new year begins than he is to work his way back and get that bona fide starting 2 position here. I don't know. I just go back to your statement, Ethan, almost loses a spot in a rotation. I think he just straight up has lost a spot in the rotation. Look, he was hired here to be a hired gun from three-point land, right? And it's not like his percentages were ever Bryn Forbes back in the day. But surely he has to do better than 2 of 9 from three-point land in the last 5 games. He's also a player that doesn't really get to the rim, right? In the last 5 games, he's only shot 2 free throws, and that was the last game against Toledo. And look, no one's ever going to confuse the guy for Travis Walton or Gary Harris or, one of these great defensive players, but Izzo has railed on his defense even before the season has started. So when we go these last 5 games, ever since the East Carolina game, 21 minutes against North Carolina. That's great. 13 minutes against Iowa. Okay. Maybe Izzo didn't like the 1 of 7 outing against North Carolina for just 3 points. Now he's docked him a few minutes here. Then after a no-show, he basically did cardio against Iowa. In his 13 minutes against Iowa, no field goals, no assists, no steals, no blocks, no rebounds, 1 personal foul. So after that game against Duke, 8 minutes. 2 rebounds, 2 points, great. And then against Penn State, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And then against Toledo, okay, non-conference Toledo, this is when we get our get back, right? This is where we start building confidence. We're going to shoehorn him into different lineups because we're already up 15 points, basically when the game started. He got 7 minutes in that game against Toledo. I don't think he's about to lose his spot. I think he straight up has lost it. Now, again, I'll say it again. Could this be a motivation tactic to, get him dialed in and playing the way Izzo wants him to play? Very well could. We could be talking mid-February after he just had an 18-point game, and this is going to all sound really stupid right now, but if you had me guess, what side I lean on? Losing his spot, or he's going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix? I'm going to go, I think he's lost his spot here. So that was quick for the Trey Fort experiment, I think. Anyway, I'll be a little quicker on this one. Let's talk about Jesse McCulloch here. Ethan said, here's a positive take. I've been saying it since he committed here. He's going to be a stud. I thought he played a lot like Malik Hall based on his high school tape, but I'd say now he's definitely lengthier, and hopefully the physicality comes later in his career here. With a question mark behind Cooper to start the year, he has filled it perfectly. I agree. And he gets better every game. It's crazy to say I'm almost confident in him and Kohler shooting the 3 ball, but I love it. I'm sorry, most confident in those two shooting the ball. I think by the end of the year and through the summer that there will be real conversations about who should start next year, him or 5-star Ethan Taylor. Also, is it crazy to say McCulloch is exactly what we were hoping to get from Xavier Booker, a stretch big who can defend, finish, and hit shots outside. I love this kid. I love him too. And quite the contrary from Trey Ford, like he's seeing his playing time go up a little bit, which I'm thrilled to see. Because kind of to start the year, he would only come in either when the game was already over or when Carson Cooper had foul trouble. I'm actually glad to see him play legitimate minutes and have a legitimate role on this team. But let's work backwards here from basically all your comments and questions. Is this what we were hoping Xavier Booker was? The early returns would suggest, kind of, yes. He's this stretch 4-5 guy, right? Now, will he shoot 55% from three-point land his whole career? Absolutely not. And if he does, well, he's going to be the first overall pick in next year's NBA draft. So, no, that's going to come down eventually. But he's shown he can at least hit those shots, right? This isn't – I don't mean to bury the kid because I'm rooting for Xavier Booker. I don't think, it was no ill will against him. But you respect McCulloch more right now than you do Xavier Booker from 3 after he shot 23% last year, was it? I don't know. And unlike Xavier Booker, again, I'm not throwing dirt on the kid. I'm just, giving an honest analysis here. McCulloch is more active on the boards, way more active than Xavier Booker was. He does actually get inside the arc and tries to do some work here inside. Look, so yeah, I do think that Jesse McCulloch kind of does fit that role. Maybe not as much as we want him to yet, but that's because, he still isn't getting 20, 24 minutes a game. But yeah, he's working his way there. Now for next year, Ethan Taylor or McCulloch, who starts right now? If I had to pick, McCulloch starts right now. Taylor, I think, is still a touch raw. But hey, just to sum it all up, McCulloch, I love seeing him play more. He's got double-digit minutes in 3 of the last 4 games. So good on you. I mean, yeah, that's an important position here. And just like you're saying, Ethan, not just this year, but next year. Kohler's gone. Cooper's gone. If not for nothing else, and not to wish this season away, I'm having a great time this season, but it is really nice to see what his floor has been so far this season as it pertains to, okay, we're going to be in trouble at this position next season. What's it going to look like? So, guys, thanks a lot for all your questions, all your comments. Sorry we haven't gotten to them all yet. We're going to try to keep chopping away at these even into next week. But, guys, hey, let's have a great weekend. Closer to the holiday season. Let's just have a great day. Let's have a great day on Saturday, guys. If you're at Little Caesars Arena, you run into me, hey, say what's up. It's always great to run into you guys. I love every single one of you. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. Go Green.